I'm Shanti, everyone. Welcome to today's BK Chit Chat. Special welcome to those of you able to join us live. Thank you for being here. And also a warm welcome to those of you tuning in later through the recording. Firstly, we have some workmen around the property today, so we apologize if you have any sound interference during the recording. Now, we're in the month of January. And you might remember that in the last Chit Chat, we read the Murli of the 23rd of January, 1969. And during the week, we've also posted a playlist on the trance messages that Devi Gulzar brought during those first few days. And you can imagine that it was such a big surprise for everyone that Brahma Baba left like that. And those trance messages are in those atmosphere because people are just totally confused and surprised. And Baba reassured everyone. And there was the funeral on the 21st of January, 69. And next Saturday, we're going to read to you the Murli that Shiv Baba spoke on the 21st after the funeral. And you heard last time the Murli 2 days after that, where Brahma Baba came and he met everyone. For us now, it's quite normal to think that Baba would come into Devi Gulzar, but that was very odd for them at that point. So what Baba did was, Shiv Baba came one day, Brahma Baba came the other day, just so people knew that they're still there. And also they were now going to come and speak through Devi Gulzar. So that began to become more normal. Today, we're actually pivoting to another year, 1995, and we're going to read one of the Murlis from that year. One of the pleasures of the Avyakt Murlis, for those of you who don't know, the Murlis that were spoken through the corporeal body of Brahma, we call them Sakar Murlis, and the word Sakar, S-A-K-A-R, that means corporeal. And then we call the Murlis spoken through Devi Gulzar's body the Avyakt Murlis. And that's because Brahma Baba's switched bodies from his corporeal body, his Sakar body, to his unmanifested body or the angelic body. So Avyakt means unmanifested. U-V-Y-U-K-T, Avyakt. And that means unmanifested. Vyakt means manifested. And Avyakt means unmanifested. So he's no longer corporeally manifested, but Brahma is in his angelic body. So Shiv Baba speaks with this angelic body of Brahma, and before it was with the corporeal body of Brahma. So the Avyakt, one of the joys of the Avyakt Murli is that we gain insight into the efforts and the stage of Sakar Brahma, corporeal Brahma, from Shiv Baba. You'll notice in the Sakar Murlis, Baba tends to talk more about becoming deities. So he will say, he made a light box picture of Lakshmi and Narayan, and you'll hear in the Murlis Baba say that, look at this picture of Lakshmi and Narayan, you're now going to become part of their clan. So look at yourself, have you got the divine virtues like they have? And you'll hear this type of narrative in the Sakar Murlis. But in the Avyakt Murlis, you will mainly hear Shiv Baba telling us to become like Brahma. So after Brahma became Karmatit, he became a complete angel. Then Shiv Baba is mainly putting his example in front of us, telling us to become an angel. You won't notice very often Shiv Baba in the Avyakt Murlis telling us to become like Lakshmi and Narayan. You'll notice that there is that change. And Shiv Baba now has a complete example to put in front of us. And it's a real joy because we get an insight as to what Brahma Baba did. In 1995, the first large complex outside of the original complex of Pandava Bhavan in Mount Abu was created. And that was known as Gyan Sarovar. Maybe some of you have stayed in that complex or seen conferences in that complex. And Gyan Sarovar is a few miles away from Pandava. I was in Madhaban in 1991. They had just purchased the land at that time, and it was a sort of bumpy, hilly type of land. So really it was a challenge to convert and transform that type of land, a mountain, to a complex. And they did it really quickly. So they set a target that at least the main hall should be completed by 18th of January 1995. So Baba actually came to do the opening on the 18th of January in Gyan Sarovar, 18th January 1995. Now, because the hall of Gyan Sarovar is relatively small, with a capacity of 1,800 people, what Baba decided to do was to come the next day as well and meet everyone in Shanti Baba, which was the largest hall at that time, with a capacity of 4,000 people. So 95 is one of those rare years where the main 18th January Murli is not on the 18th of January, it's on the 19th of January. And we're going to read that Murli today. And what Baba did was he decided to split the topic over the 2 weeks. So he was coming again on the 26th of January. And so he's exploring half the topic in this morning, and then maybe in a couple of weeks we'll read the second half, which is the 26th of January 95. And what Baba is taking up in this morning of the 19th of January 95 are the first 2 steps of Brahma. So what did Brahma do? What were his first 2 qualities that got him to his angelic stage? So I'm going to hand over to Ranjan Bandhan to read that morning.
Om Shanti, good morning to all. This is the Murli of 19th January 1995, 19/01/95, Avyakt Baptada. And the theme is keeping your footsteps in Brahma Baba's footsteps, be obedient and a complete renunciate. Today, Bap Dada of the Unlimited is seeing his companions of unlimited service. There are 2 types of companions. One are those who fulfill the responsibility of the companionship of love and a relationship. And the other are those who fulfill the responsibility of the companionship of love, a relationship, and service. Even if you are in the last corner of the world, you are still in front of Bapdada. The promise between Bapdada and the children is that wherever they are to stay, wherever they are constantly together. In this Brahmin life, from the beginning until the end, the father and the children are eternally together. Even when the children are in corporeal form and Bap Dada is in the angelic and the incorporeal form, are they separate? They are not. So, are you far or close? Acha. Then in bracket it says, more than 4,000 brothers and sisters are sitting in Om Shanti Bhavan. Are those sitting at the back close? Are those sitting in the corner close? Then somebody must have said, all the residents of Madhuban Global Hospital, Taleti, the Abu Nivasis and Sevadaris were sitting in Pandav Bhavan. Are those sitting in Pandav Bhavan close, or are you far? The closeness of the heart enables you to experience closeness in the corporeal form also. No matter which country you are in, the closeness of the heart enables you to experience companionship. Whilst living far away, where do the double foreigners stay? You are constantly close, are you not? Not just today, but always. You cannot be separated. It is impossible. It is impossible, is it not? Or can it be possible? No. God's promise can never be broken. God's promise becomes destiny, and destiny cannot be prevented. This is why you are constantly close. You are the constant companions, and as a companion, taking Baba's hand in your hand, you are moving along with so much pleasure. You have pleasure, do you not? Or do you have to make effort? Are you experiencing pleasure? Do you have to make a little effort? When anything happens, then the Father moves to one side. Don't bring any situation in front of you, and the Father will not move away. The situation makes the Father move away. Just as when a curtain comes in between, what would happen? Things move to one side, and this curtain of the situation comes in between. But who brings it? It is the duty of the curtain to come in between. And what is your duty? To move it or to take a little pleasure from it. Bap Dada sees that some take great pleasure from the situations. Whomsoever you have love for, the sign of love is to be with that one. To be with that one does not mean to live in Abu. In Abu, in terms of the numbers, if the numbers increase even a little, then there is a shortage of water. So it does not mean to be in the company in the corporeal form, but to fulfill the responsibility with the heart. If you do not fulfill the responsibility with your heart, then even whilst being in Madhuban, you are far away. And whilst living in the last country of all countries, if you are close to the heart, then you have the companionship. This is why Bap Dada is called Dilaram. It's D-I-L-A-R-A-M. It means the comforter of hearts. You do not say the comforter of body. You say the comforter of hearts. So where is the heart? It is in the Father, is it not? Your heart is in the Father's heart, and the Father's heart is in your heart. Only the heart can know about this spiritual companionship. So you are experienced, are you not? Or when you go from here, will you say that you have become distant? No. Constantly fulfill the responsibility of companionship. No soul can fulfill this with another soul. Only the one Supreme Soul can fulfill the responsibility of his companionship with all souls. And who receives the fortune of fulfilling the responsibility of companionship with the Supreme? What would all of you say? We do. Each one of you would say, I receive it. Would you not? Or is it that only some receive it and others do not? Do all of you have this fortune? All those sitting at the back are waving their hands. Acha. It is a very good scene. Seeing the scene of today's gathering, Bap Dada is reminded of a memorial. Only the faces are shown in the rosary of Rudra. The bodies are not visible.
Runda. Runda.
Here it says Rudra.
Oh.
Yeah, but it will be Rundamala. Yeah, this is a very expensive, very special beads of the rosary, you know, from a special tree. And so, you know, if you look up from the stage down below when the diamond hall is totally full, all you can see is beautiful angels in white, but the heads, the faces, and these beads naturally have these eyes and like a face. And that's what Baba is saying. All he can see, and it's a beautiful scene. Everybody's face is shining, and so, and the bodies are not visible. So it's called Rundamala, R-U-N-D-A, Rundamala. Mala means rosary. So these are special beads. If you could see from here, you would only see the faces. Nothing else is visible. So the memorial of the rosary of Rudra is visible now. Today, all brothers and sisters are sitting on the floor. Each one is sitting behind the other, and so the bodies are hidden, and only the faces are visible. So it is good, is it not? It is a rosary, is it not? This is the visible proof of love, of how much love you have for Father Brahma. This is why you have come here. All of you call yourselves Brahma Kumars and Brahma Kumaris. You do not call yourselves Shiv Kumars and Shiv Kumaris. So you have greater love for Father Brahma. Do you not? And Father Brahma also has constant love for the children. This is why, even whilst being avyakt, he is giving avyakt sustenance. You are receiving avyakt sustenance, are you not? You might say that you have not had the experience of Brahma Baba. You say this, do you not? Have you not experienced him? So why do you call yourselves Brahma Kumars and Brahma Kumaris? Have you been created without sustenance from the Father? Or are you experiencing the sustenance? Do you only experience it a little? If you had not received sustenance from Father Brahma, then with only the incorporeal Father, there would not have been the creation or the expansion of the yajna today. Do the double foreigners receive sustenance from Father Brahma? And in brackets, everybody must have said Haji. Look, the Father goes into the foreign lands So does he not sustain India? Does he give sustenance to Bharat? Do you receive it? And the Bharatvasis said, yes, Haji. So you do not complain, saying, Baba, we did not see you. Do you? You constantly see him. You constantly meet him. You constantly see him and you constantly stay with him. He cannot constantly give that through the corporeal body, but through the avyakta form. He can give his company to everyone. So as an angel, Baba gives us the company to everyone. Whenever you wish, the doors for a meeting are always open. In the subtle region, he will not say there is no space, there is no time. No. Whilst in the body, there are the bondages of the body, whereas in the avyakt form, there are no bondages of the body. There are no bondages of the body and there are no bondages of the laws of the physical world. Here you have to observe the laws. Sit in the front, sit at the back. Even now, according to the time, you are very, very, very fortunate. Baba said that 3 times, very, very, very fortunate. You have at least got some space to sit. Later, it will be difficult to even get some space to stand. Because at that time, you will have to give others a chance. At present, have you been given a chance? At present, you have been given a chance. Just as the Madhuban Nivasis have now had to give others a chance. This is also love for the family, because in the previous page, Baba mentioned that Madhuban Nivasis, hospital walas, they gave chance to others and they were watching on a television from either hospital or Pandava Bhavan. And so Baba says, this is also love for the family. To have love for Father Brahma means to become the same. You have the experience of becoming the same as the incorporeal Father for a short time. However, to be a Brahmin means to constantly be like Brahma, that is, one who follows Brahma. Whatever is the activity of the Father Brahma, that should be the activity of all Brahmins. That is, that should be the action of all Brahmins. Your words should be like those of Father Brahma, and your activity should be like that of Father Brahma. This is called following the Father. To place your footsteps in Father Brahma's footsteps is known as following the Father. So, what was the first step that Father Brahma took in following the Father's Srimad? Mana following Shri Baba's Srimad? What did Brahma Baba took as a first step? Do you remember? First step of Brahma Baba? The first step is that he became obedient. In Hindi, it is Agyakari. He put the instructions he received into practice. So check, are you following the Father in the first step of being obedient? From Amrit Vela until night, are you moving along according to the instructions you have received from your thought, for your thoughts, words, actions, connections, and relationships. Here, can I remind you all of the Murli of 31st December 1970? We read a month ago or so. Again, it has the timetable. Baba has made it so easy, given us the timetable and what consciousness and self-respect. So Baba is reminding us of that. Or are you able to fulfill some instructions and not others? Are your thoughts according to the instructions received, or are they mixed? If they are mixed, are you fully obedient or half obedient? You have received clear instructions for your thoughts at every moment. Are you clear about what thoughts to have at Amrit Vela or not? Are you able to follow in this? Or do you sometimes go to Paramdham and sometimes the land of sleep? So what are your instructions? To go to the land of sleep. At every moment and in every moment, are you placing your every footstep in Baba's footstep, or are the footsteps of the father one thing and the footsteps of the child something else? That would not be called obedient, would it? Whether in connection with God or in your interaction with others, check the percentage of how much you are following the instructions you have received for both. Do you know how to check? The first step is that he became obedient. And this is why those who are obedient automatically receive blessings from the Father. Together with this, you also have blessings from the Brahmin family. So check whatever thought you had, whether for the self, for service, for physical actions, or for many other souls. If you remained obedient, the sign of that is contentment within the heart. Because of the blessings you received or did not receive, the effect of the blessings is that the mind will constantly remain content and the heart will remain content. Not external contentment, but contentment of the mind. Is the contentment of the mind real or superficial? The sign of this is that if you are accurately obedient, if you have blessings, then you yourself as well as others will remain double light. If you do not remain double light, then understand that you do not have contentment of the mind. You do not have blessings, either from the Father or from the family. Blessings from the family are also essential. Do not think that you have a connection with the Father, that you have blessings from the Father, and that it does not matter if you are not able to get on well with the family. So this is a sentence to be underlined. Baba is saying, underline this, that do not think that the blessings from family are not important, not essential. You were told this earlier also. So are you the beads of the rosary or not? So if there are just the dual beads in a rosary, would that make a rosary? You know, at the beginning of the rosary, there's a tassel, Shiv Baba, and then 2 beads, there's Mama and Baba, Brahma Baba, mother and father, and then the children, 8 jewels and the rest of the rosary. So Baba is reminding that would that make only tassel and 2 beads, will that make a rosary? Not as much as possible, not just that it may be possible, but that you have to do this. Every soul who sees you should remain happy. When they see you, they should become light. Their burden should be finished. So the sign of contentment of the heart and the blessings of being obedient is that you yourself will be light, and you will also make others light. From this, you can realize to what extent you are obedient. It is just as you saw how with Father Brahma, each one, young or old, would be content and dance with happiness. You would be light at the time of dancing, would you not? Only then can you dance. Even when someone is fat, if he is light, he can dance. Whereas if someone is thin but heavy, he does not dance. So your words should be such that you yourself remain content and others also remain content with you. It should not be that you say, this was not my intention. This was not my feeling. So in Hindi, bhav means intention. And I didn't mean to say my intention, my bhav, and bhavna is my feelings, good feelings for others. And so this was not my feeling, means bhav or bhavna. Baba plays with those words in Hindi. But why do the intentions and feelings reach anyone? If they are true, why do vibrations reach others? What is the reason for this? There must be some reason. So check to what extent you have become worthy of blessings. To the extent that you become worthy of blessings from the Father and the Brahmin family, so too you will become worthy of the kingdom. If you are not able to make the Brahmin family content, how would you rule the kingdom? How would you make the kingdom content? Brahmin souls will become part of your royal family. And so how can those who are not able to make their family content, make their subjects content? Will such a soul be able to do this? You have to develop the sanskars here, do you not? Or will you have yoga there and then develop them? Means in Satyug, will you have yoga there and then develop the sanskars? You have to develop them here. If at the present time you are not able to find the reason and its solutions in the Brahmin family, if you constantly keep on giving excuses, then where there are reasons and excuses, there is no power to find a solution. If you do not have the power to find a solution for the family, what solution would you bring about for the kingdom of the world? Because every soul in your kingdom should be the embodiment of all solutions. Will there be excuses there in Golden Age? Reasons are created within this royal gathering and you say there is this reason, there is that reason. So will you be able to find a solution? Would there be such a royal gathering there? There you will only ask about everyone's welfare. It is very good. It is very good. It is a meeting, not a court. So, whilst speaking excuses, do not deprive yourself of blessings. Father Brahma found a solution for the reasons, and this is why he became number one. The files that are accumulated with Bap Dada are all of reasons and excuses. So, should Baba keep the files and continue to increase the file, or are you going to become refined? Is it better to increase the file or become refined? So, from today, should Baba finish all files? Baba means files of children's excuses and complaints. Everyone has a file. Some have a small file and some a large file. So, should Baba finish them? Then Baba will not have to create a new file, will he? If Baba has to keep a new file, you would have to pay a fine. Think about it. What did you think? Then Baba said, what did you think? Finish it? Tell me, should we finish it now or should we give you a few days? Should we keep it until Shivratri? Means, in February, usually it's Shivratri. This is January. So Baba says, should we keep it until Shivratri? Those who think that they should receive a little margin and that they will make effort and become refined by then, raise your hands. Acha, a few are raising their hands. Should we finish the files of everyone else? Just be careful that you do not have to give any reasons afterwards. It is good. It is a good thing to keep courage, but do not keep courage just for the present. It should not be that you say, I was in front of Bap Dada and so I had courage. But now that I have come down, the courage has disappeared. Then when you go back to your own land, it will decrease even more. And when any situation arises, it will decrease even more. So Baba means from Shanti when we go to Taleti, means to Abu Road, to come back to your countries. And then Baba is saying, as soon as you reach the train station in Abu Road, your courage decreases. And by the time you reach your countries, it will decrease even more. That's why Baba says, it should not happen like that. So it will decrease even more. And when any situation arises, it will decrease even more. You will not do this, will you? Look, when any reason, Baba means excuses, comes in front of you and your courage decreases, and because of this reason, you develop a weakness, and then when that situation finishes, what do you feel for yourself? You feel ashamed, do you not? You feel a little upset that you did not do something good, that was not good. Do you feel this? To repent after you have done something wrong, is this your work or the work of your subjects? Will those who repent become kings? Will they become kings? So think about this. Sit on the seat of the throne of being a detached observer and judge your own self. Be your own judge. Do not judge anyone else. Everyone knows how to become someone else's judge. You very quickly become a judge. But what do you become for your own self? A lawyer. You also know that you become your own lawyers. So, whilst seated on the throne of being a detached observer, you will be able to take an accurate decision. When you get off the throne and then judge something, you are not able to make a good decision. Be seated on the throne in just 1 second. This stage is your throne. The basis of accurately and easily making a decision is the stage of being a detached observer. When you are not an observer, then the activity and matters concerning others come in front of you a lot more than your own. If you look at everything as a detached observer, then you would clearly see the things about your own self and others, and the judgment would therefore be accurate. Otherwise, it will not be accurate. Bapdada has told you earlier also that whatever sins pass by in the drama, although those situations have very good common sense in them, sometimes the Brahmins have a little less common sense. When any situation comes, does it stay there or does it go away? And what do the Brahmins do? You sit there holding on to the situation. The situation passes by, but you do not let go of the situation. So in the previous 2 pages, Baba mentioned that Baba moves away if you keep the situation. It is like a curtain between you and Baba. And then you are not having companionship of Baba. That's what Baba meant. I didn't understand it, but now this made it clear. That Baba means the situation passes by, but you do not let go of the situation. So does the situation have more common sense than the Brahmins? The situations have more sense, do they not? Many children say, this has been going on for the last 2 days. This thing has continued for 2 hours. But how much did you lose in 2 hours? How much did you lose in 2 days? So become those with common sense. So what did you hear about the first step? To be obedient. How obedient am I? You have been told the signs of this. Check yourself against these signs. Finish saying, there is this reason, there is this reason. The second step is to be a complete renunciate. First, from being obedient, you receive blessings, and with the power of the blessings, you become a complete renunciate. Brahma became the number 1 example in renunciation also. Renunciation of bodily relations is not a big thing. However, it is essential to renounce the old sanskars and nature of the body. They renounce bodily relationships in other religions also. However, to renounce the sanskars and nature complete with all its progeny, not just renunciation, but renunciation with its progeny, so that not even a single trace is left, is known as being a complete renunciate. If the slightest trace of the nature and sanskars of the body remains, then from time to time, that progeny will increase. And that progeny is as sharp as in a Lokic family, where the older ones are very cool and the grandchildren are very sharp. If any old progeny remains, that also performs a wrong type of wonder. Bap Dada sees that the condition of someone at the time is like when someone becomes bankrupt. In a second, he turns from a millionaire into one who only has things worth nothing. All treasures are finished within a second. Then you have to make effort. This is why a complete renunciate means to be a renunciate of the bodily relations and the sanskars and nature of the body. At any time, check your stage. If you are deceived, who deceives you? Your nature and sanskars. This nature and sanskars finish the fortune received through renunciation. Bap Dada is underlining it even more for the Brahmins. Have renunciation of your renunciation. Even renounce the arrogance of being a renunciate. This is known as renunciation of renunciation. I did this, I tolerated this, I did this and this. Do not give all these stories. Even if someone did tolerate, what word do you use with the words to tolerate? Power. To tolerate is not just to tolerate, but to tolerate means to imbibe power. This is why you speak of the power to tolerate. To tolerate means to show the visible form of power. So it is good, is it not? What did you tolerate? In fact, Bap Dada says, in fact, you took greater benefit. And for whom did you tolerate it? You tolerated it for the sake of being obedient to the Father. You did not tolerate it for anyone else. You only obeyed the instructions of the Father. So you will receive blessings for following the instructions, will you not? So what did you tolerate? You took blessings, did you not? When you keep situation in front of you, you think that you have tolerated a great deal. For how long will I have to tolerate this? There should be a limit as to how much one can tolerate. However, to the extent that you tolerate something to an unlimited level, so too the blessings received from that are also unlimited because you are being obedient to the Father. The Father has told you to tolerate. Has anyone else told you to tolerate? So to obey an instruction, is that a matter of happiness or a matter of compulsion? Do not tolerate out of compulsion. Some do tolerate, and they also say no one else tolerates as much as they do. Then they come and tell the daddies, do you know? Daddies, you do not know. They come and tell the daddies, you do not know how much I tolerated. What did you lose? You only benefited. So did you understand the definition of renunciation? Look, even on the path of bhakti, there is the sign of this. When a sacrifice is offered, if the goat cries out, then is that accepted as holy food? It becomes holy food if it is completely sacrificed in one go and does not cry out. They even tell the goat that that is to be sacrificed, not to cry out. And you say that you have tolerated something all the time. So what is this? Is this not crying out? So you do cry out a little, whether in your mind or in sound. But no, that is not holy food then. No, prasad, we call it toli when we get toli, but it's in bhakti, it is prasad. Prabhu prasad is given by, it's a holy food given by God. So that's why some people sacrifice, they have these customs, and Baba is talking about that, but it has to be with one go only, no cry, no sorrow out of that animal or whatever they sacrifice. So Baba says that even if you tolerate and then cry out, they even tell the goat that is to be sacrificed not to cry out. And you say that you have tolerated something all the time. So what is this? Is this not crying out? So you do cry out a little, whether in your mind or in sound. But no, that is not holy food then. That is not accepted. Baba does not accept it. So how can he give blessings? So what will you do? Perhaps you will cry a little inside, not externally. Will you cry in this way? The teachers are sitting in front, are they not? Will you cry a little internally? Will the teachers not cry? Maybe you will shed 1 or 2 tears standing in a corner. Perhaps you will secretly shed a few tears in the bathroom. Will you not do this? Should you perhaps have a little freedom to do this? You should not receive this freedom. Should the mothers receive this freedom? You should not receive it either. What will you do when your children trouble you? Will you cry a little in your mind? Do you mothers cry in your mind? You are not saying yes, and so perhaps you do cry a little. And what do the brothers do? They do not cry shedding tears, but they cry internally by becoming angry. When they become forceful, that is also a form of crying. What does the Pandava army think? Do you want to freedom? Raise your hands. Sorry. What does the Pandava army think? Do you want to cry? Should you be given freedom to do this? Those who want a little freedom, raise your hands. Do you not want it? So from today, is the file of crying also finished? Or have you just made Baba happy by clapping about it? So from today, the post will also reduce. The useless expense of postage will be saved for Gyan Sarovar. Because today Baba in Sakar Murli, it was about Brahma Baba being postman. So Baba is reminding us not to save the stamps, monies for the saved for the stamp can be used in Gyan Sarovar. When any situation like that comes up, you should put the postage money into Baba's box. You still have to use a lot more for Gyan Sarovar. Everyone has a lot of love for Gyan Sarovar. To have love for Gyan Sarovar means to have love for service. You do not have love for the place, but you have the place for the sake of service. And so you have love for service. Is there anyone sitting here who has not put anything in for Gyan Sarovar? Raise your hand. Is there anyone? No one. Acha. Those who have put something in, raise your hands. All of you have put in something. Have those from Madhuban put something in? They have taken from the Bhandari and put something into it. Do those from the hospital put something in? Do they do this? Raise your hands. They are sitting in Pandava Bhavan. They also put something in. And in the Sevadaris, they also do this. They are down below in Pandava Bhavan. With everyone's cooperation, such a beautiful place has been built. Do all of you like it? Have all of you seen it? Do you like it? Yes. You had a little difficulty in living there, but that will be all right also. When you come next time, you will have a lot of pleasure. At present, you receive cold water, not hot water, but cold water. This happens in a new home, but are you all happy? Are those living in Gyan Sarovar happy? Those who are happy, raise your hands. Acha. There are more Pandavas. There are also the Shaktis. Or are you thinking, how can we say that we are not happy? And you are therefore saying that you are happy?
I think we can stop there. So, Angela, do you want to say a few words?
Well, no, Baba has explained everything, so we won't take much time now.
So the essence there was these two first footsteps of Brahma, and in the rest of that Murli, as I mentioned to you at the start, Baba then says he'll take up the other two steps in the following Murli, and we'll read that in a couple of weeks as well. So these first two steps were obedience and complete renunciation. And obedience means putting into practice the things in the Murli. And our indicator is that we gain blessings from Shub Baba for doing that, so that our mind and heart remain content. And because we're content, we remain light. And we will also then make everyone else light with us in interaction with us. Where we are making ourselves or others heavy, that's an indicator that we are not following something in the Murli. And so Baba was saying that was one of the specialities of Brahma Baba. And then the second step was renunciation of renunciation. So we can have an attitude that we are doing something special by tolerating, by accommodating, by adjusting, and so on. And Baba is saying there's an ego in that as well, because you're having the attitude that you're doing something for someone else. You're putting up with someone else. But actually, Baba's told you to be tolerant and adjusting. So you will just gain Baba's blessings for doing that. You're not really tolerating for another person. You're tolerating for Baba. You're tolerating for your own self. So to have the renunciation of the attitude that I'm doing anything for anyone else, that's Brahma, that was Brahma's second step. And so then we don't feel upset, but otherwise we have a limit, don't we? That this is as much as I can put up with. I don't think I can do any more. And we feel it's because we feel we've done something for someone else. So then we have a limit. So let me just invite if anyone here with us now would like to say anything before we stop. It was quite a long morning.
I was just confirming that although we were not there in the Sakar form, we were sustained. Otherwise, there wouldn't be an increase. So that meant that we had that subtle connection with Baba, Brahma Baba, because it's through him, that we give birth. It's through the mouth of Brahma. So whether we were there then or after, Baba considers to be sustained by him, Brahma Baba.
Shubha is always keen that we move out of our limited consciousness, that everything has to be through a physical medium, has to be through a person, has to be at a certain time, in a certain way. And what Baba is saying is that Shiv Baba, the incorporeal, and Brahma, the angel, they can be with every Brahmin all the time. And so why would we limit that meeting Brahma meant being there before 1969? Why can you not meet Brahma now? Lady Gulzar used to share a story that she really learned from, she never forgot, that when the first double foreign brothers and sisters came to Madhavan, this would have been in about 1974, I think. And she said to one brother that it's a shame you didn't come a few years earlier to Baba, because then you would have met Brahma Baba. And that brother, who was just a few months with Baba, and Lady Gulzar has been there since 1936, so she was there about 40 years. And this brother just looked at her and said, I have met Brahma. And the penny dropped inside of Lady Gulzar at that point, and she said, amazing, in a few months you've gone ahead of me, because it's so easy to limit and think that meeting Bapdada means this, sustaining sustenance from Bapdada means this. But no, why would we limit that? Would anyone else like to mention anything?
You could just feel the lightness, Shailin Bhai, when Baba told us tolerating. I'm not tolerating for nobody. I'm just being obedient to Baba, and that is beneficial for me and helping Baba in his task. So I'm just doing it for myself, the soul, and for Baba, his task, and that benefits everyone. But I'm doing it for me and for Baba, so it doesn't feel like tolerating.
In those trance messages that we put up in the playlist from 1969, one of the messages has Baba commenting that Baba always has this balance between knowledge and love in everything that he does. And so this Murli was very, very apparent that how Baba was very firm with us and also very loving. And he's teaching us how we have to handle ourselves. So for obedience, he was picking up on the fact that one of the reasons we don't change is fear. We don't have the courage to do it. And what we'll do is we'll make other reasons. We'll create other, well, I can't change because of this and because of that. But Baba's saying the real reason is you don't have the courage because you're afraid of something. You're afraid of changing yourself. The situation has gone, and yet you are hanging on to something because you're afraid. And then with renunciation, Baba was being firm with us and saying, it's because he didn't use the word ego, but he used it was a more royal term. You haven't got renunciation of your own renunciation, but that means you've got ego. That's what that means. Because you're thinking, or maybe attachment, you're attached to your own renunciation. You're attached to your own change, your own understanding. And so Baba is saying that Brahma Baba went beyond both of these things. He let go of even thinking that he's done anything for anyone.
Yes, wonderful. Thank you.
And one of those playlist messages, listen, Baba, Brahma Baba, Dadi Gulzar asked, Baba, what do you do all day? And Baba said, come, Bachi, I'll show you my hole. There was a hole, and we all were there. Baba was decorating. So listen, that I thought that was beautiful. So Brahma Baba says he keeps himself so busy all day decorating the children. He has made a museum up there of all of us, the entire Brahmins. And he chisels away the weaknesses. And so Baba is sustaining us, filling us with powers and virtues from there. So if you listen to, I think it was number 3 or number 4, something like that, that Baba explained what he does all day. And it's quicker because now he doesn't have to worry about the corporeal body, bathing and all that. He's an angel there. There's no time limit. And so this is what he goes on a tour. He can see better what children are doing.
Shiv Baba remembers us at Amrit Vela, but
Yeah.
then I think Shiv Baba becomes busy with all the devotee souls and all the souls around the world. But Brahma Baba is dedicated to us through the day. And Sister Jayanti comments as well how we've got Brahmins in every time zone. So there's always someone having Amrit Vela in the world, or they should be getting up and having Amrit Vela. So when Brahma became an angel, then Bab Dada can go and meet everyone at their own Amrit Vela. So it's always Amrit Vela somewhere. So Bab Dada has become present somewhere in their angelic form. So let's stop there. So very rich and powerful teachings. And we wish you all a very powerful 18th January. And we will meet you the other side of 18th January. And we'll be talking about the first Avyak meeting on the 21st and around the new chapter that began at that time. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for being here. Om Shanti. Have a great 18th January.
Same
Om
for you,
Shanti.
Hi.
And
Yes, Didi?
I was just going to say to Lynette, Sister Lynette, thank you very much for all your kind blessings. But this is nice. We help each other. We have time, so make the most of it to study together. Baba is giving us extra tuitions, so make the most of it, because as we can see the situations are going. So Baba is preparing us to stay stable and with Baba. Okay, thank you. Thank you.